I'll call the regular meeting of the Ascension Parish Council Thursday, October 15th, 2009 to order. Our invocation tonight will be led by Chief James LeBon of the Santa Monica Fire Department.
If you would please stand. I'd like to thank the council for the opportunity. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness to our nation, our state, and our parish, and for giving us blessings far beyond what we deserve. As we gather in this meeting room tonight to celebrate and honor great men, women, and children who have accepted the call of community service, I pray that you will continue to bless and prosper us. I pray today for our parish president, the parish council, and all the parish administrative staff. I pray for our sheriff and his administrative staff, as well as all those brave young men and women bearing the badge in the fire service as well as law enforcement. I ask you to bless and protect our firefighters as they put their life on the line. Give them the wisdom to know what's right and the courage to implement those things. We ask you to divinely guide their steps and bless them as they look to you before making decisions for our people. I pray that there will be unity and harmony in our great parish. Your word says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord." I ask you to continue to prosper and bless our parish, and as you have so graciously done this far. I also ask that you give this council the strength to make the tough decisions that have to be made in this council room tonight and during all council meetings to move our parish in the direction that it is currently moving. This I pray in the name of Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chief. Our pledge tonight will be led by Troop 76 of the Galvez Lake Fire Department. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, men. Well, I'd like to do a little bit something different before we go to roll call. We have these scouts in attendance tonight monitoring our meeting. They are working on their communications badges. Correct me if I'm wrong. Their scoutmaster is Roland Robert. Miss Tracy Yos is the chaplain, and Miss Pam McKnight is the organizer for tonight. We have a speaker to tell us a little bit about these scouts, these young men. His name is Greg Yos Favreau. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Greg, and I'm a member of Troop 76 from Galvez, Louisiana. Communications Merit Badge is an Eagle Required Merit Badge, and one of the requirements is to attend a public meeting or service. So being here tonight, we're getting that requirement checked off, which can lead us that if we didn't have this requirement, we couldn't get the merit badge and we couldn't go to Eagle. Other things I've done in this merit badge is I've given a speech and an interview, things like that. Personally, for me, this is the last requirement. So I'd like to thank you guys, not only for me getting the requirement, but for all the scouts here getting that requirement. And not only that, but for letting us learn more about our parish government. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Greg. Greg, if y'all would like to stand up and get a group picture for your family. Scott, would you please? And we will be seeing you gentlemen back in here at a later date. We have Eagle Scouts we'll honor tonight, and I expect to see y'all back in here before long. Thank y'all. Roll call, Ms. Suzanne. All present. I do not have any chair additions. Public comment period. Anyone wish to speak on anything on the agenda? Please sign in. You'll be allotted 3 minutes. Sign in with Miss Suzanne. We'll move right into our presentation portion of the agenda. First, we have Kim Friends Week. Please come forward. Kim Friends Week. We'd like now to ask the members of the Kim Friends Week Committee to come forward. President, you will read the proclamation. We have 4 plant people. Would y'all please come down?
Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana proclamation to proclaim Kim Friends Week in Ascension Parish. Whereas the Kim Friends Expo will celebrate its 13th year, November 4th and 5th, at the Gonzales Civic Center with the objective of raising interest in science and chemistry among students and the community. And whereas our country, state, and parish all have a need for more trained professionals in the fields of chemistry, engineering, and other science-related areas. And whereas local students need to be exposed to these professions in order to encourage their interest in these fields, and whereas the Kim Friends Expo has developed in support of National Chemistry Week and has proven to be one of the most successful outreach programs in this area. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Martin, as President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim November 2nd to 6th, 2009 as Kim Friends Week in Ascension Parish, and urge my fellow citizens to participate in this worthwhile educational endeavor. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joanne Topley Hamilton from Rubicon, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Kim Friends. It will be November 4th and 5th this year. There are 13 area chemical plants that fund and provide the workers to run Kim Friends. Air Products, BASF, CF Industries, Lion Copolymer, DuPont, Honeywell, Motiva, OxyChem, PCS Nitrogen, Rubicon, Shell, Westlake, and Williams. During that 2-day period, there will be about 1,600 students that will come through the Civic Center in Gonzales. And that sounds impossible, but it runs like a well-oiled machine. It's amazing to watch it. During the day, of course, the students only get to visit 4 of the booths where they learn a little bit, have some hands-on experience. They get to put some real life to what they study in the science books. So we always encourage them to come back on community night, which is on Thursday evening, the 5th. They come back, bring their families. We have hundreds of people who come through on community night because on that night they can visit all the booths as much as they want. And, of course, we have little giveaways on Thursday evening. In addition to the plants, this is also a partnership between Ascension Parish government, the school system, Southern University, Gonzales Fire Department, and DEQ has been part of it all these years, for 13 years. I think that's all the big stuff. What I want to tell you is I had the opportunity to interview a production tech applicant just a short time back, maybe 6 months ago. And I asked him a question I always ask, tell me what you know about Rubicon. Well, he started rattling off. They make liquid chemicals that you mix together to make all these products for foam that are made of all these foams, and started naming the products. And I said, where did you learn that? And he said, Kim Friends. Now, this was a grown man. Kim Friends, to me, has been very successful. It's served the purpose. It's educated a community, hundreds and hundreds of people, that a chemical plant is, at one time I've heard people, they see steam coming out of a stack and call it pollution. Well, now they know we make a lot of products that make life a whole lot better every day for a lot of people. So if you get a chance, please come by on community night. That's November 5th from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Martha, you want to add anything? Thank you very much.
Next, we're going to proclaim Make a Difference Day. Accepting is Ms. Audrey Boudreau. Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, proclamation to proclaim October 24th Make a Difference Day in Ascension Parish. Whereas connecting with others and working together through volunteer service can bridge the differences that separate people and help solve serious social problems in our society, and whereas 3 million Americans committed to engage in volunteer projects on this appointed date last year, and whereas we as Americans have a tradition of philanthropy and volunteerism no better displayed anywhere than by the people of Ascension Parish, and whereas USA Weekend Magazine, along with the Points of Life Institute and its affiliated organizations, including Volunteer Ascension, have joined to promote the spirit of volunteerism through a National Day of Doing Good. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, I, Tommy Martinez, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue and authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim October 24th, 2009 as Make a Difference Day in Ascension Parish, and urge my fellow citizens to participate in activities to benefit their community. Ms. Audrey Boudreau. Thank you.
Thank you, President Martinez and Council, for having us here tonight. Make a Difference Day has been celebrated by Volunteer Ascension in Ascension Parish for 12 years since we've kind of started here in the parish, but it is the 24th annual Make a Difference Day that has happened nationwide. And there are a lot of wonderful projects and volunteers that have participated. Last year, through Volunteer Ascension's Make a Difference Day, we had 116 volunteers with over 740 hours and numerous projects that they did throughout the year that they registered with Volunteer Ascension as we are the Hands-On Network, which is an affiliate of Points of Light Institute. And we are the Hands-On Network affiliate in Ascension Parish. And so you can register your projects for us, and we do through us. And we want to identify and recognize all of those projects with time constraints that have changed in the years. Instead of doing those just on that fourth Saturday in October, we have encouraged people to do their projects throughout the year when they have the time or the volunteers to do that, and still register with us through the month of October, and then we will put those out with all the numbers and things. So any organization, family, or individual with any project that is a project that truly makes a difference in the community and helps any family or person that is in need of services is recognized and does qualify for that project. So please contact Volunteer Ascension, and we will get that get you registration forms and get that project registered for you. Thank you.
Next, we will have our Ascension Community Theater recognition. Ms. Renee Michel and Ms. Maddie Olson, please.
Good evening. How y'all doing this tonight? I am not here as your assessor tonight. I am here with another hat on. I am very involved in Ascension Community Theater. I have been since practically its inception. I do serve on the board right now as an officer. I am the administrative vice president, so mostly I just help them with the money and watch the money. But I have had the privilege to actually get on stage and participate in some of our productions, and it's very rewarding and a lot of fun. So what I'd like to do now is introduce y'all to Maddie Olson. She is our artistic vice president, and she can tell you a little bit about our Theater.
Thank you all for having us here tonight. Appreciate it. We're going to give you a little update on what's happening at Ascension Community Theater. You know that theater that's over there at the old Pasqua? That's our home, Ascension Community Theater's home. I'm going to ask Renee to read our mission statement for you to give you in a nutshell what our purpose is.
The mission of the Ascension Community Theater is to enrich the cultural environment and quality of life in Ascension Parish and the surrounding area by presenting theatrical stage productions that 1. Educate, challenge, and entertain audiences. 2. Provide opportunities for citizens to share and develop performance, stagecraft, and theatrical support skills in a mutually supportive and positive environment. And 3. Engender interest and develop appreciation for theater arts and crafts by a diverse population through participation as audience members, performers, technicians, craftsmen, and volunteers.
Volunteers, that's a word that puts a big neon sign in front of us since we're a nonprofit organization. Renee and I, as officers, and Randy as a board member, stand before you representing the hundreds and hundreds of volunteers who have worked tirelessly for the past going on 10 years at Ascension Community Theater. They have worked to bring you the magic of live theater to Ascension Parish and to make ACT, A-C-T, the successful nonprofit organization that it is. Our programs include children's workshops and our exclusive Night of One Acts, which give young directors the opportunity to learn the art of directing for the stage. Through the years, we have attracted many volunteers who are well known in the area for their knowledge of stagecraft and lighting design. I urge you as civic leaders to be advocates and cheerleaders for the arts in Ascension Parish by coming to see our plays and encouraging others or participating in our plays. Then go out and brag about Ascension Community Theater. Come see our production of The Crucible, which opens November the 5th and runs through the 14th. And then bring your families to see our Children's Christmas program, which wraps up our 2009 season. I'm excited tonight to tell you about our 2010 season, which honors our 10th anniversary. We open the season in the spring with a musical comedy called The Little Shop of Horrors. It's a story about a man-eating Venus flytrap. Our next production is Doubt. It is a drama. It is about a priest and a nun who are at odds about the truth. Then our big smash summer musical is Gypsy, and we follow that in our fall productions with Driving Miss Daisy and The Oldest Profession. The title of that tells it all. We wrap up our season with the Children's Christmas program, which is the most loved. We had one year 85 children audition for this play. 85 children on our stage. It was magnificent. Thank you, and be advocates of the theater.
Thank you very much.
Thank y'all very much. Next, we will have our Angel Award. Miss Betsy Baldwin, please. Dennis.
I've been knowing Betsy for quite a number of years. She was a really good friend of my daughter's all through high school and junior high, and spent a lot of nights at my home. And this is something that's very special to me, that I had the opportunity to nominate her for the Angel Award, and which is put on by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. She was one of 8 people in the state that won the award, which allows her to give $20,000 to the charity of her choice. And I'm sure it's going to probably be Apple. It's the all-inclusion program that we have for children with disabilities, and she's done an excellent job, and I'm just here tonight to say, Becky, that I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of this accomplishment, and you deserve it. We had another recipient, I think Ms. Bobby Blanchard also received this award years ago for her programs in the parish, so we're proud to have two recipients. And Becky, Betsy, I'm proud of you, and I'll read this. It'll be a formality. But, it's a certificate of appreciation awarded to Betsy Baldwin. The Parish of Ascension is honored to present this certificate to Betsy Baldwin upon the occasion of her winning the 2009 Angel Award. We join with the entire Parish Council in saying thank you for your extraordinary volunteer work through the Ascension Parish Inclusion League and your ongoing efforts with the at-risk children of our community. Betsy, we're proud of you. I ask the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation to make the award, and then we'll have Betsy say a few words.
Good evening. My name is Tristy Charpentier, and I am the Angel Award Coordinator for Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana, and we're very excited to be with you tonight. Since 1995, the Blue Cross Foundation has honored the angels in our communities across the state, those people who have done extraordinary things to improve the lives of kids across the state. We received more than 60 nominations this year, and there were very awe-inspiring applications, and Betsy was fortunate to be one of our winners this year. One of the things that is really what we call neat about the Angel Award is that the Angel Award winners each year are picked by former Angel Award winners. So it's a true community effort. Of course, making a difference in our communities requires time and money, so that's why it comes with $20,000 to the charity of her choice. Blue Cross is the oldest and largest health insurer in the state. We aren't going anywhere, and we want to make a difference where we do business. We have been here since 1934, and we are a steadfast community partner. The Angel Award is just one part of that commitment. Betsy and the 7 other Angel Award winners will be honored at a awards banquet in Baton Rouge next month, and First Lady Supriya Jindal will be emceeing that event. And so to present the check, I will call up Christy Reeves, the Executive Director of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana Foundation.
Good evening. Thanks for including us on the agenda tonight and giving us a few minutes. I wonder if you guys could hold this for me, since it's for you, really. I'm Christy Reeves. I'm the Director of the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana Foundation. And we are just delighted to be here tonight to celebrate someone in your community that's done some pretty incredible work for some very special people. After watching an inclusive T-ball game in Baton Rouge, Betsy thought to herself that there was no reason why there shouldn't be a similar program here in Gonzales. She went to the Ascension Parish Department of Recreation and found out the parish was also considering the addition of such a program, and the parish was delighted that Betsy was ready to spearhead the initiative. She's a pretty good go-getter, if you can't figure that out. She spends her days as a physical education teacher here in Ascension Parish, and she spends her evenings and weekends finding ways to include children with disabilities in recreational activities. She has spent tireless and been selfless in providing equal opportunities for these kids. And I'm glad that you have the check for me, and I wonder if you could present it to Betsy for me. Do you think you could present it to her for me? Or you want to keep it? For going above and beyond to improve the lives of Louisiana's children, we are proud to present this check to you, to your organization, for $20,000 on behalf of Betsy Baldwin, and it's going to go to the Ascension Parish Inclusion League. So congratulations.
Okay, I'm just going to say a couple words about the program. The Apple program is a program for kids ages 4 to 13. It's pretty loose with the age, so we do just about any ages. It's for kids with and without disabilities. It's all about kids just having fun in a recreational setting. First and foremost, want to thank Blue Cross for taking the time out to present this award to me. It's pretty overwhelming to have such a big corporation take the time out to notice, people doing stuff in the community that, are really, this is the reason why I did this. And as you can see, they're pretty overwhelming on their own. They're pretty inspirational and awesome all by themselves. So to me, I'm just one person. There are a lot of people that help me. I'd like to thank the Parish of Ascension for allowing me to have this program. They were 100% on board. At the time, Sherry Kinchin was the recreation director. She's been a huge part of the program. Mr. Tommy Martinez has been just 100% on whatever we need to do, whatever we need for the program. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. I cannot do it without the support of my family, my friends. Galvez Middle is a huge part of why I'm successful. So I just want to say that here in Ascension we have some great people, we have some great schools, and we're going to continue to do great things.
Check that bill game the other day, but I got game.
Next, we will have our firefighters and our junior firefighters of the year. First, Scott, do you have the list of the attendees? Okay.
Okay, every year the Knights of Columbus recognize our firefighters. This year was held, and I think every year at Sanamo, and had the pleasure of attending the banquet. It's always a pleasure and honor to be amongst our volunteers like we have here in Ascension Parish. James LeBlanc, fire chief at Sanamo, and on the fire board, does an excellent job. And Gene Wetek, Fire District 1, we certainly appreciate all of your services that you bring to the parish and all of your work. And certainly to all the volunteers, we depend on you so much, not only for fires these days, but for your EMS calls. So it's always an honor, and it was an honor to be there. And tonight we want to recognize you. Basically, I'm going to read one firefighter's certificate, and then I'll call everyone's name. And then we'll come up and take a picture, and then we'll go to the junior firefighters. That's okay. Okay. Firefighter of the Year, Robert Collins. Is Mr. Collins here? Parish of Ascension is honored to present this certificate to Robert Collins upon his being named Firefighter of the Year with the 5th Ward Fire Department. We join with the council chairman, Pat Bell, and the entire parish council in offering our congratulations and heartfelt appreciation for what you do to keep Ascension Parish safe. Mike Pellegrin. Mike here? Okay. Mike was honored as Geismar Fire Department Volunteer of the Year. Justin Paula. Justin was named firefighter of the year at Santa Monica. Jeremy Broussard. Jeremy is at 7th District Fire Department, firefighter of the year. Mr. Nelson Pinion. Nelson's with Sorrento Fire Department. Jason, accepting on his behalf, Mr. Jason Broussard. Fire Chief, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Cade Cundler. Gonzales Fire Department. Okay. Jared Wilson. Garrett Wilson, I'm sorry. Garrett is with Prairieville Fire Department. Mr. Jeremy Cox, that was all the firefighters. Next will be the junior firefighters. Okay, Mr. Jeremy Cox. Galvez Lake Fire Department. Mr. Owen Dempsey, Jr. Mr. Geismar Fire Department. Bradley Norwood. 7th District. Holly Molaire. And Ashley Norton. She couldn't make it. Okay. Well, I just want to congratulate these gentlemen and upcoming firefighters. I know you're junior firefighters now, and they give you all the bad jobs to clean the firehouse. Persistence will pay off, and I know you're going to become one of Ascension's finest. James, you want to say a few words? That you would MC that night.
I know y'all have a full agenda tonight, but tonight's been filled with a lot of appreciation from a lot of good things that's happening in Ascension Parish. And I know I could go on record by letting every citizen in Ascension Parish know that from Donaldsonville to Prairieville to Gonzales to Sorrento to Santa Monica to every fire department that we have in Ascension Parish, I can tell you, Ascension Parish, you are blessed to have some of the best firefighters in the state of Louisiana, and we thank y'all so much for your outstanding work.
Chief, would you have all the fire chiefs in attendance tonight stand up, please? We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Real quick, with due respect, we got Tracy Norman here with Gonzales. We got Jason Broussard here with Sorrento. We got Ray Poche here from Prairieville. And we got Brad Moran here from 7th District. And we got Peter Roblin here from 5th Ward. Did I forget anybody? That's all chief officers in the parish. Thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all very much. Thank y'all. Next, we will have the presentation for our Eagle Scouts.
Okay, had 5 Eagle Scouts, but only 2 will be in attendance tonight. Mr. Edward Guitro. Certificate of appreciation to Mr. Edward Guitro. The Parish of Ascension is honored to present this certificate to Edward Guitro upon the occasion of your being named an Eagle Scout by the Boy Scouts of America. We join with Council Chairman Pat Bell and entire Parish Council in offering our warmest congratulations and best of luck with your future endeavors. Thomas Lipus. Also, certificate of appreciation awarded to Thomas Likus. Okay. The Parish of Ascension is honored to present this certificate to Thomas Likus upon the occasion of your being named an Eagle Scout by the Boy Scouts of America. We join with Councilman Chairman Pat Bell and the entire Parish Council in offering our warmest congratulations and best of luck with your future endeavors. Thomas. The other 3 were Garrett Crawford, who had surgery to repair 2 broken wrists. He's resting comfortably at home. And Mr. Aaron LeBeau and Colby Boudreaux. And they're not with us tonight, but we will also want to congratulate them, guys, for a job well done.
Councilman, thank y'all for having us here. It's a real big honor to be included with all these fine men and women of the parish. We just want to say thank y'all for having us here, and this is a real big achievement. We hope to serve the parish more.
Thank you. Thank y'all very much. Okay, before we go into our parish president report, I would like to recognize tonight our State Representative Nikki Monica is in attendance. Okay, next, we'll move into our parish president's report. Veterans Memorial Park, Mr. Jack Watson.
The veterans, the Vietnam veterans, are bringing the moving wall to Ascension Parish, and I want Jack to come and make a report to us on that and when it's going to take place. Tell us about the activities.
Okay. I appreciate the invite to come here tonight to speak to you folks. I've been a Vietnam vet with our Chapter 725 since 1996. We had our first wall come to Gonzales in March of 97. We had another moving wall come to Gonzales in November of 2001. Here we are in October of 2009, and we got the wall again. The wall will be coming to Gonzales next week. It'll be here on Wednesday evening, and we'll be putting it up Thursday morning. The wall will be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday evening at 5 p.m. We will be taking it down. My presence here is twofold, to let you know that we got the wall coming in. The other reason is I would like to invite each and every one of you councilmen, all of you that's got fat pocketbooks, to donate what you can to our cause. For the simple reason our Vietnam veterans are not organization that is funded. We do our own funding, whichever way we can. Unfortunately, our waves of generating money has been suspended as of, I don't know, back in the summer or last year, whenever it was. So I would like to appeal to your patriotism as an American citizen to help us to override the cost of what it costs to bring the wall into Gonzales and to be here for a week. We've got a lot of people that's going to be coming to town. I've got people from all over the state will be here to work. We're going to have approximately 40 men and women working the wall itself. We start reading the names on the wall as soon as the wall has been put up, which will be around 9:30. Matter of fact, these young people here is going to help us in any way that they can. We start reading the names on the wall through a book in a tent that we have set up. And there's a total of 58,479 names on this wall. We don't stop reading it. When the book is completed, we start back at the first page and we start over again. This continues as long as the wall is here. And I appeal to you folks. Some of you has already contributed, and I want you to know that we truly appreciate your generosity. Those that you haven't, my advice would be to give till it hurts and then add a few extra dollars. But you can, Mr. Pat Bell knows how to get a hold of us. Mr. Valentine knows how to get a hold of us. We meet at the Santa Mo Park, and we have a P.O. Box 1166 in Prairieville that you can, if you want to donate to us tonight, you can. If you don't, then you can send it to us. But I assure you the wall's going to come, whether you help us or not. We'll find ways to generate the funds to bring the wall to town. Well, it's already coming, so, you know, when the wall comes in, we've got to write a pretty good-sized check to cover the final cost of the wall itself. So I appreciate your inviting me here, and I appeal to your generosity to help us any way that you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jack. Mr. Jack, we appreciate your efforts. We appreciate you bringing this event to Ascension Parish. We thank you very much, and we'll do what we can to help out. Thank you, sir.
Much, sir.
Anything else, President Martinez?
That's all I have.
Okay, sir. We'll move into our consent agenda section. I'll need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cullen, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion passes. We'll move into our general business section, large precinct splits. Our voter registrar, Mr. Robert Poche, please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members. Come before you tonight to recommend that y'all consider doing some precinct splits. As y'all know, because of the population growth, we've had some precincts that has grown astronomically. We're going to also request in this same thing that we do away with 2 of the precincts. We're going to do that in a merge procedure. One of those precincts has 1 voter, one has 53 voters. I provide y'all with a map, and if you'll see, to give you a quick description, it's color-coded. As example, precinct 1, you can see it's yellow up at the top, and you see what number we split it into. One of the precincts, actually 19, we had to split it 4 ways. We had already did 3 alpha splits, and it's still growing astronomically. We're going to have to do this as expeditiously as possible. The reason being that the census count, it will be done on a precinct level, and we have to have that in Washington. They would hope to have it by the end of this month. I understand the time framing on that, but the problem is that they have to plan ahead of time for next year. They're going to start the census count next year. If y'all have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them for you.
Chairman.
Councilman Thompson.
Mr. Porsche, how long have you known this needed to be done?
The state contacted us with this about a month ago. when I discussed it with y'all at the last meeting, that we needed to do something with it. Well, it just took me 2 weeks to prepare it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, Mr. Poche, is it'll give all the councilmen a chance to review
Yes.
the different precincts, and we will call a special meeting in order to introduce
Yeah, 'cause
next week.
It requires an ordinance on that.
That's correct, sir. That's
And
what I'm
I
saying.
want
We
to
will
point out to y'all,
introduce.
if y'all look, they got an effective date on this of January 2011. That's the year of the reapportionment, the year after the census. That's when they'll actually start. That's when we'll actually start using them. But they'll be using them for the census count and everything else, and for reapportionment, right away.
Yes, sir.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Unless
All
you
right,
have
sir.
some
Any
further
more questions for Mr. Poche, please? Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
We'll next move to number 9, our professional service agreement. Mr. CAO Cedric Grant. Mr. Grant, before you speak, I do have a speaker on this item, Mr. Richard Brown. Please come forward, sir. You'll be allotted 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Richard Brown. I'm from Kenner, and in case some of you may be wondering why I'm over here from Kenner to talk about the traffic camera situation, when Kenner started looking into this a few years ago, I was asked to serve on a citizens committee that they appointed to look into it. I was not able to serve. I declined, but I had already started doing a lot of research into this. I had already started hearing horror stories. The gentleman who I think will testify before me or behind me, Eddie Bernier, did serve on that committee, and the things we found alarmed us very much. And the bottom line is, with what little I can say in 3 minutes, is that we think the parish is not getting what it thinks it's getting with this system. I'm reluctant to call it a scam, although if you read the literature, you will see where a lot of people do call it that. But it is a cash cow. If the object is to reduce accidents at intersections, you can do one thing, and that's lengthen the yellow light. There's been study after study all across the United States, that if cities and parishes increase the yellow light interval by 1/2 to 1 second, accidents drop by 50% or more. We also know that the majority of tickets issued by these automated systems for red light running occur in the first half second after the light turns yellow. And that about 75% of the violations occur within the first 1 second after the light turns yellow. Now, that is not when the accidents occur. Those aren't the people causing accidents. The accidents are being caused by people who come through the intersection 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds after it's turned red and the cross traffic is already flowing. Those are the ones who cause accidents. The people you are catching with a system like this who misjudge the yellow light by 1/10 of a second as to whether they should go or stop, like U.S. Attorney for the Southern District, for the Eastern District of Louisiana, Jim Letton, just got one. An FBI agent who he sent us to talk to got one. The same type situation. Dan Redmond, the manager of the
Thank you,
AAA.
sir. Thank you. Our next speaker will be Mr. Eddie Bernier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for seeing me tonight. I'd like to elaborate a little bit on what Richard said. When I served on the Kenner Citizens Committee to look at red lights, as you know, we don't have red light cameras in Kenner, but our committee voted to go forward and put red lights in anyway, but the city council said no, and this was over 2 years ago. The reason they said no, I believe, is because of the report that I wrote, a lengthy 14, 15-page report detailing alternatives to these red light cameras. And what we found over and over again, that when municipalities went to an all red interval and extended the yellow light times, they have been able to reduce accidents. Additionally, we found that the U.S. Department of Transportation recommends, if you're going to use red light cameras, to not use the bounty system. In other words, don't pay some out-of-state vendor a bounty for every red light runner you catch. It's usually best to eliminate the conflict of interest and have the city either lease the equipment or own the equipment. And not only that, you get to collect all the revenues, but you eliminate that conflict of interest when you have a for-profit entity involved in law enforcement. And another thing you might want to be aware of, if you probably already know this, but in case you don't, Louisiana, you can't put them on state highways unless you get permission from the DOTD. I believe there was a bill before the legislature just this past summer where they wanted to allow you to put them on state highways, but the state of Louisiana would have received all the money. The cities wouldn't have gotten anything from it. And so naturally the cities fought that, and it died in committee. But, you know, many people view this as a money grab. I'm not here to second guess. You would jump, you know, try to figure out what's in your head. That's my job. I'm just saying, if you're going to do this, move slowly, move carefully, and, you know, consider the needs of your citizens. Most municipalities, when they get these cameras, they vote them out. If they get a chance for a referendum, they vote them out. They did it in Sulphur, Louisiana. Referendum passed 86% to 14% to get rid of the cameras. I think 15 states have already outlawed them. In Louisiana, unfortunately, the camera vendors seem to pretty much have their way with the citizens. Other states, they're either outlawing them completely or they're putting controls in them. Even Mississippi's outlawed them. So I just don't see many citizens wanting these cameras. So why am I coming all the way here to Ascension? Well, for one thing, I work in Ascension Parish. I know there are a lot of good people here, and I understand you're well-intentioned. You want to keep your people safe. I just don't think this is the way to do it. So if you have any questions of Richard or myself, we'll be glad to meet with you anytime, any place. Thank you.
Mr. Grant?
This item is a professional services agreement between the Parish of Ascension and American Traffic Solutions to monitor and enforce red light cameras. It's for a 5-year term with the one successive 5-year option. It has a 60-day termination clause. Other highlights of the agreement is they will provide a turnkey operation for the parish, including public information and outreach campaigns, and there's optional one-time warning systems as a part of the agreement. The fee schedule is attached to the agreement. This is as a result of the RFP and selection process that the council went through, and we presented for your consideration.
Okay. Councilman, what's your pleasure? And need a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cullen.
Second.
Second by Councilman Shakespeare. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Item 10, resolution. Mr. Richard Brown will be my first speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Here's where it gets interesting, and I wish we could have spoken all at one time on both of these, but I've read over the the professional services agreement, the ordinance which you adopted a month or two ago, and also the resolution authorizing the intergovernmental agreement. And I see a lot of problems. And if you folks are going to do this, we would love to see you do it in a way that it's done properly. It protects your citizens, it protects the parish, because in almost every parish and city that's installing these things is getting sued. If you do it the right way and put in enough precautions, you're in much better shape. And even individual, legislators, council members are getting sued and getting voted out of office because of it. And sheriffs are getting voted out of office. My biggest concerns are due process elements. And I was impressed by what I saw when I watched the archive of a council meeting. It seems like you folks do want to have a really good, fair process. But let me just run through a few things as fast as I can go that are lacking from what I saw in this document. First off, the most prominent thing is service by mail. Your dog groomer cannot sue you for $50 without serving you personally. But yet, when you get one of these $100 tickets, or in some areas, they're $200 or $300, you can just be served first-class mail. At a minimum, the citizen should have to be served with certified mail, if not personal service. There's very little spelled out about the appellate procedure, about the court cost, about the cost to appeal, how do you go about it. And one of the worst things about it is whether you can call witnesses. The U.S. Supreme Court and other courts have ruled that if you can't call witnesses, it violates the right to due process. The U.S. Supreme Court just recently ruled on that in a case. I saw a provision where ATS will furnish experts for the parish to appear at hearings, but no provision for the citizen to subpoena the man who is running the camera. And that just flies in the face of due process. So I'm asking you, I'm begging you, that there's no way I can get through this page-and-a-half list of problems. Please defer this item till your next meeting so that we can get with you, make some of the information we have available to you, and see if you can improve this so that it really is a fair system for your citizens, for your constituents, and for the parish. There are several things that can be done to improve it, and we would love to see it done right.
Thank you, sir.
That's being done very seldom.
Mr. Eddie Bernier, please.
Thanks once again. I'd like to elaborate just a little bit on some of the due process issues I discovered when I was studying this. As Richard pointed out, we don't get to face our accuser when your accuser's a red light camera. That's just sort of a fundamental principle of American justice, which you won't have that. Secondly, please do some research on this. In Orleans Parish, ATS was operating the system, and I believe they ticketed a funeral procession. According to our research, and you could have your own people check this out because I'm not an attorney, but according to our research, a state law allows a vehicle to cross a red light during a funeral procession. But it was on television down there in New Orleans showing this lady received it simply going to a funeral. Again, what I want to emphasize, protect the rights of your citizens and the people that shop in this parish and work in this parish and enjoy the quality of life you have. At the very least, make sure your citizens have due process and the right to be heard. Finally, I'll tell you a story I heard of another parish in Louisiana where if the citizen wanted to appeal it, by the time the citizen went through all of the appeals, he or she would have spent more money appealing it than the cost of the original fine. So I encourage you to please try to avoid those sort of problems for your citizens. Thanks.
Councilman, I'll need a motion for the resolution.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cullen.
Second.
Second by Councilman Shakespeare. Any discussion? Any objection? Resolution carries. We'll move into our ordinance Mr. Grant, would you like to read the
introduction?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Number 11, introduction of ordinance ratifying and authorizing the parish administration to collect fees for services and rentals provided at Lamar Dixon.
I'll need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Kluart.
Second.
Second by Councilman Lohr. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. Number 12, introduction of ordinance authorizing the parish of Ascension to lease any and all movable and immovable property at Lamar Dixon. Motion by Councilman Thompson.
Second.
Second by Councilman Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. Item 13, amending the budget. I do have a speaker, Miss Catherine Goplet.
Good evening, gentlemen. For the past 2 years, the auditor has given the parish budget a clean bill of health except for one area, sewer facilities. The auditor said sewer has the potential to bankrupt the parish. Money spent for the less than 500 households on 4 sewer systems you presently operate could have purchased wastewater plants for every user. Immediately after the auditor's report this year, the parish president announced that his administration will develop a parish-wide sewer system. Unbelievable. In 2010, utility costs are estimated at $1.2 million, $370,000 for administration, and $783,000 for operating expenses. Collection of user fees is estimated at $160,000. If the parish is having difficulty managing the 4 systems it now operates, how will you manage the entire parish? Using 07 numbers, we have approximately 40,000 households, minus the 10% that will not be served by the plan, leaving 36,000 households, divided by 500 equals 72. With a deficit of over $1 million a year in 2010, for less than 500 users, a conservative estimate for the cost of sewer would be $72 million by the year 2027. The total operating budget for next year is $62 million. This shovel-ready plan developed by the Corps was not adopted by the previous council. The plan was, when was it approved? The design is expensive. Estimates do not include, and get this, gentlemen, you better listen up, individual sewer treatment plants that are now privately owned and operated. These will need to be tied in to the parish system, yet the administration has $18 million from a state revolving fund loan to develop the Corps' plan. It has 4 phases, 42 projects, 40 in East Ascension, to span a 20-year period at a cost that could exceed, according to the Corps, $187 million in 07 dollars. What will it cost to purchase the private systems? No one knows. If completed, the estimated cost of annual operation and maintenance of the parish-wide wastewater system after 2027 is estimated at $3.5 million. This is not believable. Section 1 of page 3 of the study says this, and I quote, residents in low-density population zones and wetland areas will continue to be served by on-site residential wastewater treatment units. This means that rural residents and those in wetlands will not be served by this parish-wide system. Gentlemen, you are right to question the financial commitments being made by the parish when matching funds from state and federal government may not materialize. Will you keep voting to fund these projects, hold your hand out for state and federal money, and be unable to finish what you've started? It certainly looks that way from a brief review of the facts. I believe the auditor. Thank you.
Okay, introduction of the ordinance amending the 2009 budget and appropriating the 2010 budget. CAO Cedric Grant and CFO Mrs. Gwen LeBlanc.
This is the ordinance for introduction to amend the budget and balance for
Okay,
2009.
sir. Need a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lohr, second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion, ordinance is introduced. Move into our public hearing ordinances. Reading of the ordinance, Ms. Lindsay Manley, please.
Purpose, to state the Ascension Parish Council's endorsement of an amendment to ordinance which provides that Dynamic Fuels LLC may use Louisiana Quality Jobs benefits to construct a water treatment facility rather than a rail spur. Whereas the Ascension Parish Council adopted an ordinance on December 20th, 2007, which endorsed the participation of Dynamic Fuels LLC in the benefits of the Louisiana Quality Jobs Program. Whereas one such benefit included the reimbursement of Dynamic Fuels for costs associated with the construction of a rail spur for the project. Whereas in consultation with representatives of Ascension Parish, Dynamic Fuels determined that a rail spur is not required for the project, but rather determined that a wastewater treatment facility must be constructed at the site to service the project. Whereas Dynamic Fuels requests and the Council agrees to amend the ordinance to provide for the reimbursement of the costs associated with the construction of the wastewater treatment facility rather than the rail spur, be it ordained that in paragraphs 4 and 5 of the third whereas clause and in the third ordained clause, the references to rail spur be deleted and replaced with wastewater treatment facility. Be it further ordained that except as amended herein, the ordinance remains in full force and effect. Be it further ordained that this amendment to ordinance shall be effective immediately.
I'll need a motion to open public hearing.
Here.
Have a motion by Councilman Randy Kluwart, second by Councilman Benny Adrian Thompson. Anyone wishes to speak on this item, please come forward, sign in. You'll be allotted 3 minutes. Need a motion to close. Need a motion to close. I got a motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, second by Councilman Adrian Thompson. I need a motion to move the ordinance. Motion by Councilman Randy Cluart, second by Councilman Adrian Thompson.
Discussion, Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion? Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yeah, Parish President or Mr. Grant, I got a couple questions that I guess as far as a criteria, this is the first time we ever do this in the parish as far as actually giving up a sales tax for a private entity. I know we went with it with a spur. It's probably more warranted to go with a spur. Now we're going to a wastewater treatment facility inside their plant. I guess I want a recommendation from administration, because if we do this, it's going to set a precedence for the next plant and the next plant to come down to us for the same thing. And also all your light industrial facilities that we do not have sewer, they may come to us also for a tax credit, which our taxes are down right now. We don't know when they're going to get stabled or when they're going to, so it's something that I had on my mind, and I want to get an opinion from the administration on it, which way y'all looking at this, because this could open up quite a bit.
Well, again, the operative word is, I think that the previous council and administration passed this for a rail spur.
And it was more warranted for a spur.
Yes. And basically what happened, Dynamic Fuse came to us, said that they no longer needed a rail spur, but they wanted to do a wastewater plant, which would they would not have to do an injection well, basically be a little bit more green and treat the waste and then haul it off to Texas. Basically, the only thing that they're asking for is to change it from a rail spur to a wastewater facility. Doesn't change any money, doesn't change anything else. And the agreement was made back then in December 2007. Since then, we've certainly gotten some opinions on different other items with BSF and the bond issue that was also utilized for the jail. And that bond money was pledged. So I don't see this happening in the future. We do have some opinions on that. But since this agreement was made, again, by the previous council, basically our recommendation to go ahead with this change, but I don't think it's going to open up a can of worms at this point.
Well, with the previous council, like I said, it was a spur. Now it's a treatment plant, so it is completely different. It is it's new. We got to go through public hearing, ordinance, and everything. So today it's new because it's completely different from the past because it was a spur. Now it's a waste treatment plant, so it is a little difference. And I'm seeing a few other plants coming down. That's going, how you going to answer to them saying, "Hey, y'all did it for this guys. Why can't y'all do it for these?"
Well, we always try to help industry in any way that we can. If people need help with bonds, I mean, I've gone since I've been in office and worked with your plant to help offset bonds. We try to work with them. 48% of our revenue is derived from industry. They also having a hard time at this point. Like I said, we gave our word on this one, not this group, but as I said, as in previous administration, it's asking to change a word. They're not asking to change the amount of money. They're not changing anything else other than that one word. Again, I'd maybe like to ask our economic development group to come up and discuss the issue with us, and maybe ask plant manager who's here tonight to maybe talk to us about the project, if that's okay with you, Chairman.
Yes, sir, it is. Before we get to economic development and Don, Councilman Cluart, you had a comment?
Yeah, you guys can come up if you want. I got a quick. It's my understanding that the intent of what was agreed on with the previous council in December of 2007 is to have a way for Dynamic Fuels to expedite wastewater off their facility, right?
I'm going to add, that wasn't the original intent. The original intent was to do a rail spur, right, as I recall, in reading the original ordinance. Basically, what they've decided is that they don't need the rail spur. I don't know why. I can't answer your question on that.
Maybe.
But instead, they wanted to do something that would protect the environment and do a wastewater, clean their product, and then haul it off to Texas. That's my understanding. And they didn't ask for any change in money. They didn't ask for anything. They wanted to change it from that particular item to this item. So I would maybe have them come up and discuss this.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, so Mr. Don Duga.
My name's Don Duga. I'm the plant manager of Dynamic Fuels. Was there a specific question?
I got, Mr. Chairman, I forgot the floor.
Yes, sir. Councilman Lambert, go ahead.
I guess the big question, you know, when y'all came to us back in '07, y'all needed a spur. All of a sudden now we do not need a spur. I guess you can answer that question. Why are we eliminating the spur? Is it a smaller plant, or is it no longer needed to export your product out?
Well, I wasn't involved with the original design, but we're on the line copolymer plant.
Correct.
There is an existing spur there, and I don't know originally whether or not the project team knew that existed or not. So in their original design, there was going to be a need for a spur, and there winds up being one there. So we don't need one now. But I mean, we don't need the funds for that because it already exists in line copolymer.
Okay. I got one more question, maybe Ms. Gwen. What is the total dollar amount that we're looking at in this 30-month period? I know it's maxed out at 30 months. As far as a sales tax deduction, do we know a dollar amount that we are looking at?
The company is requesting $600,000 rebate.
Okay, that's the number I was looking for. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, sir. Any more discussion? Councilman Valentine.
Mr. Dugan, with all due respect, and you wasn't here at the time, but the previous council did approve this because there was a need at the time they came to us for a spur. There was a spur there, and they told us that, but it was in disrepair. It needed to be fixed the way it was presented to us. An additional probably track may have been mentioned. So that was the intent. Mr. Lambert has a very good point. You know, in changing this situation, it was kind of thrust upon us at a meeting. We didn't really have a whole lot of time to look into why the situation, and that's why he asked the question, you know, dealing with the spur. I have to agree with Mr. Martinez. I'm not sure that we could get in trouble dealing with a precedent that we set, although we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there, when somebody else comes and asks. But I think the commitment was made, and I'm sure that this council will have to uphold the commitment that was made already. But we would appreciate maybe a little bit more of an explanation. It doesn't have to be on camera, but we would appreciate it.
Okay, sir. Any more discussion?
Yeah, motion and second on the floor, Chair.
I've got a motion. I've got a second. We through the discussion. Any objection? No objection. Ordinance has passed. Is adopted. Okay, number 17, Ms. Lindsay.
Purpose, to acquire a movable property from Richard G. and Rebecca Bonneville in the amount of $53,244. Whereas the Parish of Ascension, through the Department of Public Works, has engaged in a road project entitled Roddy Road US 61 Intersection Project, and whereas in order to successfully complete the project, the parish must purchase right-of-way in accordance with Section 6.01 of the Code of Ordinances and the Charter of Ascension Parish. And whereas the parish has identified certain property as necessary for the continuation of the project and desires to purchase said property all in accordance with state and local law, be it ordained that the Ascension Parish Council authorizes the purchase of the Bonneville property in accordance with the terms of the act of sale document attached hereto and made a part hereof as Exhibit A. Further, the Ascension Parish Council authorizes payment to Richard G. and Rebecca Bonneville in the amount of $53,224 for the property more fully described in Exhibit A. Be it further ordained that the purchase of the property is subject to approval by the parish attorney and contingent upon the sellers being able to deliver good and merchantable title, and that Tommy Martinez, parish president, is authorized to sign all necessary documents on behalf of the parish.
Motion open. Public
A motion opened by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Anyone wish to speak on this item? Please come forward. You'll be allotted 3 minutes. Sign in with Ms. Suzanne.
Motion to close.
A motion to close by Councilman Benny Johnson.
Second.
Second by Councilman Todd Lambert. I'll need a motion. Motion
Second.
move the ordinance by Councilman Randy Kluar. Second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted. Number 20, please, ma'am.
Purpose, to acquire movable property from the Cheryl Boudreaux Rowe Revocable Living Trust in the amount of $83,043.50. Whereas the Parish of Ascension through the Department of Public Works has engaged in a road project entitled Roddy Road US 61 Intersection Project, and whereas in order to successfully complete the project, the parish must purchase the right-of-way in accordance with Section 601 of the Code of Ordinances and the Charter of Ascension Parish, and whereas the parish has identified certain property as necessary for the continuation of the project and desires to purchase said property, all in accordance with state and local law, be it ordained that the Ascension Parish Council authorizes the purchase of the Cheryl Boudreaux Rowe Revocable Living Trust property in accordance with the terms of the act of sale document attached hereto and made a part hereof as Exhibit A. Further, the Ascension Parish Council authorizes payment to the Cheryl Boudreaux Rowe Revocable Living Trust in the amount of $83,043.50 for the property more fully described in Exhibit A. Be it further ordained that the purchase of the property is subject to approval by the parish attorney and contingent upon the sellers being able to deliver good and merchantable title, and that Tommy Martin, as parish president, is authorized to sign all necessary documents on behalf of the parish.
Need a motion to open public hearing. Motion opened by Councilman Cullen. Second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Anyone wishing to speak on this item, come forward. You'll be allotted 3 minutes.
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any objection?
Motion to move the ordinance.
I got a motion to move the ordinance by Councilman Chris Lowell.
Second.
Second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted. Before we get to Councilman Lambert, I would like tonight to wish a happy birthday to Scott Rabelais. Scott, where you at? All right. And also, yesterday was Scott's anniversary. Happy anniversary also.
Hey, hold on, Parish President.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Watson asked me to announce that the opening ceremonies for the wall will be on October 24th at 11 o'clock. If you can attend, we'd like to have you there.
Okay, sir.
You forgot to say that.
A belated birthday. You know, last time before when we got through, Todd, it was your birthday. I wanted to wish you a happy birthday. We were off the air. And Councilman Benny Johnson. Happy birthday, guys. On a sad note, I'd like to announce tonight that Dale Email, Parish President of St. James, his father passed away yesterday, and we send our condolences to him. Deputy Taylor, thank you, sir, for being with us tonight. Wade, Aaron, thank you all as always. Councilman Lambert.
Motion adjourned.
We have a motion to adjourn. Second by Councilman Kluart.